Hey everyone, I'm back at you with another tip for the Instant Pot that will help you get dinner on the table in a snap. I'm going to show you one of my favorite hacks for the Instant Pot, and that is Instant Pot broccoli. Would you believe that you can make broccoli in the Instant Pot in 0 minutes? We'll get to that in a minute. But I wanted to tell you a little bit why I like to make broccoli in the Instant Pot. Now, broccoli isn't very hard to make without an Instant Pot, but I do find that every time I make it by steaming it or boiling it, well, I would never really boil it, but by steaming it, the broccoli just never gets really quite to the right consistency. It's always slightly underdone because I've jammed way too much broccoli in the steamer pot, or overdone because I've let it go too far. So with this method, I find that broccoli ends up being cooked perfectly every single time. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. It's super easy. And while this broccoli is cooking in the Instant Pot, we're gonna make a nice, crispy, toasty, flavorful topping to serve on our broccoli to give it a little bit of an extra pizzazz. So the first thing you're going to need is obviously broccoli, and I have a large crown of broccoli, which I chopped up into decent sized chunks. I found that you can cut broccoli in any size, and this works. So I've cut it pretty small to throw in soups, and I've made it a little bit larger if I was going to toss it into a stir fry afterwards, and it always turns out fantastic. And it's really easy, guys. All you're going to need is this steamer insert. Now I bought this on Amazon separate from the Instant Pot, but I love it because it's got these little feet that keep the product out of the water, and it fits a lot. Like I said, we like broccoli and I always cook way too much. You're just gonna put the broccoli in the steamer basket. You just need 1 cup of water. And then the broccoli goes in. And remember I said it's gonna cook in 0 minutes. That's a little bit of a lie, but you do set the timer for 0 minutes. Basically, in the time that it takes the Instant Pot to come up to pressure, the broccoli's cooked. And so there needs to be no pressure cooking beyond that. So we are gonna set this to 0 seconds. We're gonna make sure that our steam vent is in the position for pressure cooking. And I always just use the manual button, and we're just gonna put it down to 0. While that's going, we're gonna make this really crispy, delicious topping to put on top of our broccoli to give it a little bit of extra flavor, so we're not eating just plain old steamed broccoli, which, by the way, I'm fine with eating just plain old steamed broccoli with butter and salt. But this is pretty easy, and hopefully we can pull it together and the time it takes for this to cook. So in our pan, we're gonna put about a tablespoon of butter, and we're gonna put this on pretty low heat. We're going to be cooking some garlic, and we do not want it to burn. Now my butter's about half melted, and I'm gonna go ahead and toss in the garlic. I'm just gonna let it come up to cooking really slow and low so that all that garlic and butter meld together without burning my garlic. Let that melt a little bit more. Now we're gonna add some herbs and some crushed red pepper. I have about a teaspoon of crushed red pepper in here, about a half a tablespoon of fresh oregano, and about a half a tablespoon of fresh thyme, minced pretty small. And we're gonna add that to this pan as well to cook in this butter. If you only have dried herbs, that's fine. I would just have the amounts of herbs that go in here because dried herbs are a little bit more potent than fresh herbs. Now we're just gonna let this all toast together. The garlic's gonna cook down a little bit without burning, so keep an eye on that heat. I had to turn mine up a little bit just to get it going, but I'm gonna keep an eagle eye on it. I'm gonna go ahead and put in a decent pinch of salt right now to season everything up. And that is now starting to smell really, really great. And now I have panko. So panko are Japanese breadcrumbs, and they're a little coarser and a little more jaggedy. And those jagged pieces are going to get all nice and toasty in the butter. And this looks good, so I'm gonna dump those in. And we're gonna give these a nice stir. I can hear my broccoli getting up to pressure, so we're gonna be very close being finished with our topping and the broccoli at the same time. But that's it for this topping. We're just gonna let this cook a little bit in this pan until the panko takes on some nice golden brown color. It smells awesome. I cannot wait. This is going to be a little crunchy topping for our broccoli, and it's gonna be super flavorful and herbaceous. And like, this is the easiest side dish ever, right? Broccoli in 0 minutes with this really delicious topping. And I can hear this is almost up to pressure. It's almost done. So I'm going to turn this off. There's a little heat in this pan left, so it's going to just keep toasting these breadcrumbs. And there we are. So we're going to immediately let the steam out. We do not want it to cook anymore, and letting that sit in its steam for too long will overcook it. So we're going to let that steam out. All right, so all the steam is done. It's out of pressure, and we can take our lid off. This is pretty hot, so we are going to need a towel or a kitchen mitt and oven mitt. And now we're just going to pour it back into this bowl. And before we add the breadcrumbs, we're just going to add a little bit more butter because, of course. And let that melt. And I'm going to do a pinch of salt in here as well. 2 pinches of salt, 1.5 pinches. And then I'm just going to quickly toss this around so the butter melts, and so there's a lot of butter on the broccoli. We're just going to let that melt for a second. All right, the butter is melted. We've coated all of these broccoli florets and stems. Don't throw those stems away. Cut them up and put them in. They're delicious. And then we're going to put, actually, I forgot. We're going to zest a little bit of lemon into here, lemon zest. Maybe half of this lemon. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese or Romano cheese. This is good quality stuff, although it is pre-grated. And we're going to give this a stir. And then we're going to put almost all of this. Leave maybe a 1/3 or 1/4 because we're going to put that right on the top of our presentation. And then we're going to just mix this together. And then we're just going to serve it up on this beautiful platter. Get everything out. Here. And then just top. And then we're just going to top with the rest of the crumbs left behind. And I guess the only thing we can do is taste. I don't have a fork, but I can use my hands. Perfectly cooked. Really nice, flavorful topping. We did that in what, 5 minutes? Maybe 7. But this is a totally easy, awesome dish that you can make for your weeknight dinners. This is pretty impressive also for any dinner party you're throwing too. I hope you guys will make this recipe. Let me know what you guys would like to see for more Instant Pot tips. I'm always exploring how to use my Kitchen BFF. If you like this video, please click that like button and click subscribe and that little bell to be alerted when I launch new videos. Thanks so much for watching. Now go have some fun in the kitchen.